Hello, welcome to Paranormal Experience. I'm going to be your host tonight. I am Mark Elliott Fults, also known as the Fat Psychic. And I am here and I'm very glad I was invited. So thank you, Kat, and thank you, Carl and Teal Gray put this together for tonight. So I am so glad to be here and glad to be able to welcome. We have a lovely guest, a beautiful girl with a beautiful name, Leila Oliverri. Very poetic.
Hi, how are
And
you?
she's an investigator with the Warren Legacy Foundation for Paranormal Research, investigates with Teal Gray's Parahunters, and has been an administrative assistant and assistant regional director at the in of the Southern region. So I want to welcome Leila Oliverri. Hi, Leila.
Hi. Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for coming on. And we are so glad to have you on here. I'm so excited to hear about um, the Warren legacy and anything that you've got to bring, let's bring it.
All right,
So
sounds
I'm going to
good.
let you start talking.
All right. And I just want to say thank you, Mark. You made a really amazing song for a mutual friend of ours, Jamie, for her great grandniece. I don't
Oh,
know if you
did you
remember.
hear it?
I heard it and that was amazing. That was
Yeah.
so very sweet. Yes, that was
Oh,
amazing.
thank you. Thank you. I cried for hours when I wrote that.
Yes, yes.
I
I know
thought
the family.
I'm an old codger.
Well, the family
And,
appreciated it.
oh, well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. It was one of those things that it was wonderful for me.
That's good.
So
That's
to
good.
and I'm glad that I'm very glad to give that gift. So, but thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. So, yes, like you said earlier, I'm a former member of the Warren Legacy Foundation. And like you said, it was the Southern region. When I was with the foundation, it was worldwide. So we had like a Spanish version, we had a region, we had the North, we had the South, the United States obviously had more, but we were able to help and reach out to more people that way. And it was following the legacy of Ed and Lorraine Warren, where we were just trying to help people who are having paranormal problems. But we were doing it in the new technology via Zoom. So it was really fun. I
Well,
loved it.
oh, oh yeah. Well, people, let me tell you, Zoom. I started doing Zoom ghost hunts 2 years ago,
Hmm.
and it increases your abilities because I remote view I can project and remote view.
Okay.
And the Zoom, when you use it as a psychic, you have now turned yourself into an energy using an electronic device to communicate with other energies. And it is amazing.
I
It's
actually did a
amazing.
seance with Patty Negri. She was leading it, and it was via Zoom. And it does. You can just feel, and you bringing everyone else that's on there's energy into it too, and you can definitely feel that. It's really a neat thing.
It is, and I mean, the thing with the modern world and the electronics and everybody's kind of a scared
Yeah.
of AI and all this stuff. Everything is a tool. And I mean, whatever we do, this is our tools, our third eye, our bodies, our physical
Yes.
forms, and our, but we haven't really tapped into the electronic world as much as we should and now it's some of it you need to be worried with, but then there's also an element of if you use it as a tool, you can advance so many
Yeah.
degrees of exploration,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be something we're afraid of, but we
No.
have to make sure everything's ethical, done correctly, but
Yes,
it's a wonderful thing.
it really is.
Tell
We were
me.
doing when we were working on a case with a girl out of Oklahoma who was needing a lot of help. Chris, the nephew, was on with us, and Lorraine actually came through while we were helping the client. So that was really cool. Like, she verified stuff, talking to Chris, knew his nickname, that kind of stuff. So that was a really cool experience to have. So I agree. You never know what's going to happen when you're with electronics. It brings everything out.
It can. It
Yeah,
can. It
but that's cool. I love stuff
can.
like
But
that. But and I
oh
think
yeah.
though it helps. I
Well,
know as a paranormal investigator, we like to set up videos and everything when we go out to investigations, and I think you catch things also that you're not going to see right in real time, or maybe you're sit back, and this. I don't know if you probably understand the spirits a lot more, but they're going to be more reactive to when you're not really paying attention to them. So when you're trying to reach out and touch
of
to them, I
course.
think I think they're kind of like, nah, they don't really say anything. But when you're kind of sitting back and having a conversation with other people, is when they kind of poke their heads in and start wanting to talk to you.
Well, that's because when you're relaxed, your aura, which is your CAT scan,
Hmm.
uh, is just going to pick it up. If you focus on, you know, this, sometimes you have to just relax, and spirits basically come to the back where the electrical system connects into the spine and the axon terminal and the third eye and the pineal stalk, is all back here.
Uh-huh.
So and it's all kind of peripheral because it's all back here.
Yeah.
So but I was at a table tipping at the night house a few months ago, and they didn't get it on film, but they were using thermal cameras and
Uh-huh.
fiddling with it. And I was raising energy, and they could see. They said your eyes went white and your head went white, and I went, "Oh, that's fun."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the thermal match, and oh, everything. There's so much we don't get to see
Yeah.
because some of it has got a little bit of dark matter in it, so it's not um, always visible. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
great to have the tools, and it's great to come up with new tools. And
Yes.
but there are some squawk boxes I've heard that just go through my head that kill me. I just can't sit
Oh,
there.
really?
It's like when we first got dial up in the '90s, and
Yes.
when it would be and then a word of mouth coming. I'm like, oh my lord. So I'm more about I want them to create calmer, quieter
Yes.
tools.
Yeah.
I also
Exactly.
want ghost hunters not to run every time something starts.
Yes.
Girls are more brave. Females, ladies are more brave about that than men are.
That's
I'm
funny.
telling
I
you.
think you're right about that.
The first
But when it
person
comes
you'll
down
see,
to it, yeah, is the women, right?
well,
The women are running towards
women
it.
just, I mean, they're able to, yeah, because I mean, they're able to, they're used to a little bit more than men are. So the
Yeah,
men, I see men run all the time.
that's
And I'm
funny.
knocked over and over by men, running from a little ghost looking around a corner, and I thought, well,
Yeah,
that's what you were here for.
exactly. That's what cracks me up.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, when something
So
happens, people freak out. I'm like, well, that's what we're looking
it's
for.
hysterical.
Yeah, I love that. But I think you're right, because like when it boils down to it, you have all
And,
these fancy equipment. But what I love best is like the
and
dowsing rods are just the simple things. I think you cut out for a second. I can't hear you.
oh yeah, I'm very old school. I'm very old school.
Yeah. Same here, but I think that's the best way to go. I mean, I know that the new stuff has
We're
its
having since
advantages.
we're talking and stuff.
Can you hear me? I think we have a
Yeah.
delay
And
going
as we
on.
talk this, yeah. Well, it's because we're talking this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I've had that happen several times too.
But it's, oh, yeah. And I can pretty well bet when I do energy raising, all of the batteries go out, all the cameras go out, everything, it's because when you're raising energy, it gets greater by absorbing more energy.
Yeah.
So, everything goes click.
And I think especially if you
And
have
but
people
that's a
who have
phenomena in
abilities.
itself.
Yeah, and I think when you have more people that have abilities on
Oh
it,
yeah,
it makes it worse. I was
it
when I was talking to
does.
Carl earlier that I was on a podcast a couple like 2 months ago, and the same thing kept happening to me. I was just having a conversation, and then the video would go out. I'd have to leave and come back in, and I never had that issue before, and I've been fine since.
Well, it
Yes,
happens usually when we have certain specific things. So, so that'll be a clue, some, it's just, happening in the air.
yes, exactly.
So now tell me what you've been doing and what you do and how you do it and what you want these fine people to know about you.
All right, like I said, I was an investigator with the Warrens. I was a paranormal investigator before that. I love going out and going to different locations. Like I was talking about my friend Jamie, we've been out to so many amazing places. Um, we've been to the different prisons. We've been to house the castles, all sorts of stuff. But I really wanted to help people when I started working for the Warren Legacy Foundation. So that's where that came in. And that's why I ended up joining them, because I know that people who are going through, like people like us, are more open and to the spirits and understand it more. But to someone who doesn't know, it can scare them, and they don't know what to do. And I hated seeing that. So I was wanting to help families basically, and it was a lot of fun. I love doing it. There is a lot you have to weed out, as I'm sure you know. There's sometimes it's just a mental health thing. Sometimes it's people calling energy in because of what they're going through. So it's extensive work, but I really love doing that kind of stuff. And I'm still doing the paranormal investigating. We're going up to the Missouri State Prison coming up shortly. But if I work with another group of ladies. They're called Intuitive Endeavors, and we have a website on what's on Facebook. It's a group on Facebook that if you're a medium or a psychic, we're there just for support. And there's other people there that are they're mediums and all sorts of stuff. And every once in a while, we have people reach out needing help and do that avenue. So that's just something that's been a passion of mine, is trying to help people.
That's wonderful. And say, because what people don't always understand, is there's so many people who are trying to do good work. And then there are people who are opportunistic. And
Exactly.
you have to be able to go, you have to listen to what they're doing, how they're saying. If someone is asking you all these questions and getting a thing and then weaving the story for you,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
need to watch that little sleight
Yeah.
of hand. That drives me insane. Because I
Yeah.
worked with somebody one time, I thought I was going to get a shillelagh pole and chase them, and I almost did. But there are people who want to help,
Yeah.
and that's, because the spirits are people.
Yeah.
They're,
Exactly.
and there are energies that are not people that we have
Yeah.
to deal with, but but the majority are people that had issues or have
Yeah.
issues, and you have to be able to tell that. And yes, there are people who come with ghost stories and things like it, or think they're possessed, or
Yeah.
that there was one little guy 35 years ago when I worked in a metaphysical store. He came in with this paper, and he was very handsome, had beautiful blue eyes, but you could see him, his eyes were like this. And he was going, "What is this paper this poem from 1969 about Wile E. Coyote? What is the engine of my 69 Trans Am or whatever it was. What is it trying to tell me? And I said, honey, it's trying to tell you you need to go get help and medication.
Yeah.
And he went and got medication. He came back and he was just fine.
See, that's
but a
awesome.
lot of people, but a lot of people will not get help if you say, really, it's not a ghost experience. It's real to you.
Yeah.
You're experiencing something, but
Yes.
sometimes it can be the body doing something weird, or and then there are people that their protective system is so non-existent
Yeah.
that they just hear all this stuff.
Yeah.
And
We had a
then you
lot of
have to
people like that.
differentiate. Is that something? Yeah. And it's like you have to be, it's very serious. Sometimes
Yeah.
you can get people who their lives are in a spiral going down, and you
Yeah.
have
And
to, what you say or don't do can affect them
that
and
was a majority of our
affect you.
cases was like that. Yeah, because just like you said, and a lot of the people also didn't realize they had abilities. But like you said, they didn't have the
No,
blocking, the protecting. So that's another thing we help them do, is we learn to help them block and that kind of stuff. Because I've explained it, and I know you know that anyone with abilities is like a beacon. It's like we have a bright light shining above us. So when there's spirits or anything going by, they're going to be like, whoa, they're going to zone in on you. And if you don't realize that about yourself, you're not accustomed to it, it's going to freak you out. And just like you said, some people, and it's going to make it worse because you're bringing in more people and you're not protecting yourself or blocking it out, which is a big, big thing that we always taught was protection.
yes, and I remember somebody one time said it's like a light on a foggy street.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of what it is. You when you've got your light is going, you don't always see what sees you.
Exactly.
And then when
Exactly.
you do metaphysical things, they all come like little fireflies.
Exactly.
And you can do the psychic stuff and the metaphysical things and the spirit communications, but you can do it
Yeah.
safely. And I always
Exactly.
try to teach people to do it. Be disciplined, do a little safety stuff so that you can experience it, because all it's going to do is expand your understanding or
Yeah.
your thirst for knowledge about it. it
Yeah.
you know but you can do it safely, and you can then walk away. Some people experience something and walk away from it. Some
Yeah.
people, it becomes their life. Like me, it's become my life,
Yes.
and
Same
it
here.
seeps into everything you. Yeah, it seeps into your art, into your music, into your way of thinking, the way you deal with people. So and it helps you if you let it. It can, if because I've dealt with some people lately. The egos,
Oh, I'm
or
sure.
they
Yeah.
need a
Trust me.
wheelbarrow to take their egos. And I'm like,
Yes.
doesn't it get tired hauling that dead body around, or your ego? Um,
Exactly.
you you can't let your ego get in it.
Yeah.
You have to know what you can do, how you can do
Exactly.
it, and it
Exactly.
and be the best you can be. But you
And
cannot be arrogant,
yeah, because it's
because
not
that
you. Nothing
will
is,
magnetize
it's not
something
you.
bad.
Yeah, and it's not coming
Yeah,
from you. It's all spiritual. It's coming from the universe, and you're using it and saying it's you, and you're not using it for good reasons. It's yeah, I agree. I've seen the ego, and especially in what we do in this field is terrible. I hate it. I hate seeing it,
oh,
but on the flip side, you have
it's
amazing
so.
people like like you and people you know. So I want people to see
Oh,
that too.
I
There
mean,
is good people.
oh, yes, there are. I mean, I have met precious friends through ghost hunting. Since
Yes.
Schrader Hill, Teal Gray, Pat
Yeah.
Hobson.
Yeah.
I have met precious people who I'm hoping will be my friends until I turn into dirt. And
Yes.
then there are people, it's like, well, you have 3 seconds to run. It's kind of like the way I feel. And because I feel that Apache I've got some Apache and some Gypsy
I
in
do
me,
too.
and I'm
I have
like,
some Apache as well.
oh yeah,
Yes.
that's why we get along.
There we go.
It's because I'm telling you, people don't understand. I have a terrible, terrible, terrible temper, and when I see myself in my mind getting up and chasing somebody, it is time for somebody to get out of my way because
That's
I
funny.
will whack them. But that's the Apache,
Yeah.
because I mean, woo, people don't understand that element
Yeah.
unless you have it. It's
Yeah.
like it's very woo,
But at least
but
you recognize it and
but
control it.
I have to, or believe me, I'd be chasing people down the streets. Uh, but it also, I think it's part of the spirituality. I have uh anytime you have ask different DNA, will affect your abilities. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's I know spiritualists who were in my family in 1800s,
Yeah.
da and psychics, and one who made a living doing it,
Yeah.
and so you have to know. It's good to know who you are and be able to dig into it if you can.
Yes.
And then what are you bringing to it on top of it? Because
Yeah.
you're the conduit, and the more better your tools are, the better you can use what gifts you're given. But
Yeah.
you're the conduit. You can take credit for how you direct your energy and how you direct your personality and how you direct yourself in a professional manner.
Yes.
But you can't go, oh, I'm a big what
Oh.
you it's like,
And that they
if you
know,
don't
like, I
respect it,
know
it will
everything.
go away. It will go away.
Yes. Yes. I
Oh,
agree
please.
completely.
I mean, I've met people who think they know it on it. It's like, I'm like, I don't know. All I know is what I know in my little sphere, you
Yes.
know. But
Or or if you see paranormal
you can
expert, to
connect
me,
it to
there's
the
no expert.
consciousness, and there is no expert. I mean,
No.
everything is theoretical. So but if you can prove what you're doing, which I've been trying lately. I've been collecting all evidences and da 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 to prove stuff. I'm like, because with psychics, people want to use psychics, but then they want to take the psychic stuff and then get rid of the psychic,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm proving I've gotten stuff. You've got to nail it down
Yeah.
because it's an actual human science,
Yeah.
and it's just we don't understand it because we are too damn thick-headed to
Yeah.
understand that we are so old and we have so much in us that we don't comprehend or use,
Yeah.
that we don't know anything. It's like we can go to the moon, but we can't go to the bottom of the ocean.
I
So
agree.
it's the same thing. We can go
Yeah.
all exploring, but we haven't been able to explore this because they feel like they want to be so far away from the human element, the woo woo part of it, or whatever
Yeah.
they think
Yeah.
is the woo woo. It is called metaphysics,
Yeah.
physics in the meta, and I think we should be exploring that because we're discounting people,
Yeah.
and if we go into that, a little bit more, I think we would be. I think we could do a lot of experimenting that would be wonderful, but that would be just for people's personal growth, because out
Yeah.
there in the big world, all people look at how much money can it make me,
Yeah. Exactly.
or how famous can I,
Yeah.
but if you do
I
the
don't know if
right
you've heard
work,
of
you don't.
yeah. Have you heard of the telepathy tapes?
Yes,
It is,
I've heard of
yes.
them.
So
I haven't got
yes, there's a girl, Kai Dixon there, that she started this thing, and it's absolutely amazing. Everyone should check it out. But in a nutshell, the first season talks about severely autistic kids and any people more than just kids, but that these
Yeah,
parents or caregivers thought that they were never going to be on their own. They're at a child level, and they actually ended up figuring out that, a lot of these kids are telepathic, and they communicate through writing. And she goes through all that, but they can write and communicate like A, B, C, that kind of stuff. And like you said, they're dead on. Like they would tell them, "Hey, Miss, their caretaker, I know you were running late today because there was a chicken in the road," kind of thing. And it's just,
Yeah.
no one sees that. That's how we can use that for good. And everything's in the universe, and they say it's just one big global thing, and there's a global energy that we can all tap into, but we don't. Some of us are blocked off. I have abilities, but I know I'm blocking a lot of it too, and that's what I'm trying to learn. I'm still trying to learn to open myself a lot more.
Well, and a lot of people do that. I did that when I was 11. I had to
Yeah.
because I was in a home where I was already special, and that wasn't accepted. So I
Yes.
had to shut it off until I
Yeah.
was 16. Then boom, it happened.
Yeah.
And but there are things you can do to be able to do it slowly. Learn the
Yeah.
discipline. And then, I think people think you just go click and it turns on
Yeah.
and you know what you're doing. It's like it's a muscle
Yeah.
and you have to work it. And what comes to you, the higher you raise your energy, the better the discernment. And the
Yes.
more open you are, the better things come to you. And if it's meant, sometimes
Yeah.
there's things that come to people that they can't handle.
Yeah.
And your system, that's why your aura it's your filter. It'll let you know if something should or shouldn't be looked at, or but you've got to be in control of that. You've got to
Yeah.
be in control of who you are.
Yeah.
And but it's so much
Yeah.
fascinating things to me. It's like
There
a
really
jewel.
is. Yeah,
you
it's
know
if
I'm
you just open your mind to it, there's so much mind-blowing things out there that I think are available to us that we close ourselves off to. When I agree 100%.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and
even
I'm
our animals, I talk to my dog
oh,
because I know he understands me. I know he knows what I mean when I say, "Hey, I'll be back at this time." They understand.
they understand. And I have a friend, Will Rosasco, who is a pet psychic.
Oh yeah.
And and I've had to communicate with animals before
Mhm.
because people think, well, we're the top of the pyramid, and animals are below us. It's like,
Yeah.
honey, sometimes I knew a person, my cousin's husband, who didn't like people. He liked animals, but he didn't like
Yeah.
people. He was a Vietnam vet. And they had a little Shih Tzu named Harold, and oh, well, there was Harold and another little doggy,
Uh-huh.
Higgy, and they had passed on. And every time he would do the last 3 or 4 times he near death, he would see this. One time they lived in a 200-year-old cabin with a split rail fence. And
Uh-huh.
when he was starting to die, he would see that fence and he would see Harold and Higgy on the other side trying to get him to come to the gate.
Oh yeah.
And so when he died, that's who met him. And
Yeah.
the Indians, there are the Indians that say, first, when you die, the first thing you encounter are the animals,
Yes.
the animals you have
Yeah.
encountered in your life, because they are pure in
Yes.
their assessment. It's not like
Yes.
I'm going to get you.
Yeah,
I'm going to
exactly.
get you. It's like I either like you, I don't like you. If I like you, I love you. And they're
And if I don't
pure.
like you, pay attention.
Oh, and anyone who doesn't like animals,
Yeah.
You know, that
Yeah.
always is a clue to me. It's like someone who doesn't
Same
like
here.
animals,
Yeah.
then, there's something to look at there too.
Yeah. I agree. I
But,
agree.
and there's plenty of ghost stories with animals. I mean, Sin Schrader and I are doing books, and we've done all these really incredible finding these old spooky stories.
Yeah.
And she just has a whole book of animal stories, and
Oh, that's
they're
cool.
fascinating. They are fascinating because I know in Chattanooga there was a thing about there's a story about a called the Black Dog. There's several
Uh-huh.
Black Dog stories, but this one was in Chattanooga in an area where it was around a in the early part of last century, a African American children's school,
Hmm.
and there was a headless dog that would sit on the steps trying to catch the children. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
And it was protecting the children,
Okay.
but people who were coming and throwing rocks at it or shooting at it, it would scream like a child
Oh,
and it would run. I mean, well, the
yeah.
people would run, not the dog wouldn't. But I found out later there was in that area some of the old Revolutionary War finished in that area in
Yeah.
Chattanooga. They were there, and one of the oh wait, just back up. One of the things French sold, he would take the skull of a black dog, run on the hind legs of her horse for good luck.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that's where I think that came from.
Yeah.
But so but animals are incredible, psych incredible.
They really
But I
are.
need to let
Yeah.
you talk. You need to be talking.
No, I know we need to be talking more. But in that vein, what you were talking about, when you were talking about the different stories with the black dog, it reminds me, that's another thing that fascinates me is the different cultures and their different ghost stories they have. Like to me, I think it's the same ghost story, but it's appearing to them in their religion
Oh,
or their culture. And so, you hear about the white lady or, the lady in black, that kind of stuff. I think that kind of stuff I love, looking up the history and the culture and that kind of stuff of these old ghost stories because they all origin from the same, but we see it based on, our beliefs. Like you were talking about the Native Americans, well, I mean, they have amazing
oh yeah.
communication with the spirits and the animals and all that stuff. I love it though.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts? Do you
With
think it's
the
the same
earth.
thing? Yeah,
Connected with the earth. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. And also and two, it can be through the eras.
yeah.
Victorians were big on headless ghosts.
Oh,
Now
yes.
people are yeah, and then people are interested in to them the ghost experience is being scratched.
Oh, I know.
So each
Yeah,
era brings its own version of ghosts,
yeah,
and things because you used to never really hear about scratching when I was young. I got
yeah.
bit one time, but by a poltergeist that scared the hell out of me. But it was laughing its butt off.
When he was done.
But maybe jumped through a door. Uh, yes, when he was done, I was walking up the stairs with a load of laundry, and you'd have to turn the light off before you open the door because you couldn't turn it off from the other side. And it was a very haunted basement. And I turned the light off and boom, 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 up the back. It was when I was in my 20s. And it scared the hell out of me. I jumped through the door and I heard it down there laughing its tail off. And I was like, and I had a bite. It looked like a 2-year-old had just opened its
Bit
mouth,
you.
its whole jaw, and just bit me on my calf, but it didn't hurt, but it was total
Yeah,
teeth marks. But it was in the 90s before we had digital cameras and all that stuff. But, you can I mean, biting and things like that, but
yeah,
scratching wasn't as normal. Now it's a
yeah.
part of the modern,
Yeah. And
aspect.
and the digital
And in the
cameras
old
are
days, it
good.
was headless. And
Yeah.
oh
But
yeah,
I think some of the older equipment is better
oh
because,
yeah.
like you
Sometimes
said,
they
digital
catch things.
cameras. Yeah, like you have the digital cameras, and I've seen it catch, some amazing things, but then you have people debating that they see something and there's nothing there and trying to convince them. That's one of the things too
Yeah.
that I'm big on with the ghost hunting, that I
Well,
like to debunk it. Because there's
and
little
I
things like with
like
the
to go
iPhone.
back to camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's even things like the iPhone people don't get. There's like a little green flare that comes up when you take pictures. And I've had so many people, and it's just, I don't know what it
Oh,
is that's in the iPhone, but I've had so many people that take pictures and they're all excited. They're like, look what I got here. We're like, no, that's just a flare that your iPhone is doing. So, you get less of that with the old school Polaroids or cameras, that kind
and
of
you.
stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
35 millimeter and what is it? Infrared. I used to be
Oh, yeah, yeah.
fascinated with infrared cameras
Yes,
and
me too.
film. And some of the some of the best stuff I've ever gotten when I was younger was cassette recorder
Yeah.
with a tape, sit it on on a tombstone and walk off and come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
You'll catch it, you know,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
better be
even the
ready for it
digital
when you leave
recorders
it,
are
to
better.
make
Oh, yeah, exactly. Even the
or
digital recorders, though, because
oh
I've had
yeah.
a piece of equipment. It's called a Zoom, which a lot of people who like
Uh-huh.
podcasts do that kind of stuff. They use it for and it's real fancy. I promise you, I've gotten more out of just a little baby digital recorder that I leave sitting there than I ever got out of that thing when I've gone out on investigations. It's just, I think you got to keep it more simplistic.
You got to keep it
They're-
a little simplistic. One thing I've been doing that I did that I can tell other people you ought to try this, because I have a glass pyramid thing that was like a stained glass box. I bought it for like $6 at a thrift store down here in Florida 10 years ago. I put thermal paper in it, and I want to experiment. When you touch it, it does like a psychedelic kind of thing, but you
yeah.
have to. It has to have heat. So what we're going to do is take thermal cameras and film put it. I have spirit boards. I'm going to put it on a spirit board, the pyramid on the spirit board, put the paper inside the pyramid, and then we'll film it thermally and
Oh,
tell
yeah,
the
that'd be
spirits
cool.
when to touch and stuff. And that would be, oh, it's new old, kind of.
Right. Putting them
um
together.
I think putting them together, I'm still a big fan of, like, take powder, put it down,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
sometimes, balloons, take a weighted balloon and put yes on it or no on it, and
Yeah.
talk and say, bring me, pull the one that you want forward. um you know just anything that's it doesn't have to be high tech
Yeah.
to work, but you can use the high tech to detect the old tech.
Yeah. Some of
And
my favorite equipment is the dowsing
so,
rods. I absolutely love dowsing rods.
oh,
Yeah, and those are
I love
simplistic, but
them. I love them.
and
And they
the more you
work,
use them, they get in
people.
tune to you. People don't understand that when you
Oh yeah.
use like that kind of
And
stuff, it gets in tune and you
making
can
your own,
communicate better. Yeah, yes. Yeah, because it has your energy in it. 100%. Yeah. But yeah,
oh yeah.
it soaks
And
up your energy and you communicate awesome with it.
the I got some. Hold on a second. My computer's doing something weird.
It's okay. I'm here. I'll keep talking on the dowsing rods. When you get back, let me know. I can
um,
hear you, but I just
can you
can't
still
see
hear me?
your screen. Yeah, I can hear you, but your screen is frozen.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's happening from my end probably.
Okay, I can see you
I
now.
have so
Now I
much
can see
going
and hear
on right
you.
here. It's probably my
It's probably
Uh,
energy.
for you. I feel sorry for you. You can see me.
Okay.
Um, this is I have a lot going on today, so this it's weird energy day,
I understand. Trust me.
but that's the way it is. It's
I
been
had yesterday my dog
wonderful though,
unexpected.
you know.
Yeah, yesterday one of my dogs unexpectedly passed away, and so I think the energy here is a little bit off too on my
I
end.
apologize. Yeah, well, I apologize for that. I know that's rough,
It
but
is.
they're it's rough, but they're around when you need them.
They are, and I believe that. That's why, really it's hard, but I know just like you said
So,
that I'll they'll be the first to greet me when it's my time. So, and then I have
oh
a dear
yeah, well,
friend.
I
I don't
told
know.
somebody one time. Oh,
I have a
great,
dear friend Susan that just passed away recently, as well, and she was a
yeah.
huge animal lover. So I am confident that she is taking care of my puppy up there. So I'm okay with that.
Oh
So
yeah,
he's got a good protector.
and
So
she's
I'm
very
happy.
sweet.
Yeah,
Oh
she
yeah, there
was
was
amazing.
somebody she was a very sweet lady,
Yeah,
and somebody was telling me a while back, going, oh, well, there are no animals in heaven and
yeah.
all that, and I go, look. I said, if there ain't no animals and pets in heaven, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Right,
But I said,
exactly.
you know, but it's like, but because they're better company than people.
I 100%
But
agree.
I know when I go, I mean, that'll be
Yeah,
what I see is my babies,
exactly,
and that's
exactly.
I get, that's okay, they're
That's a comfort to
wonderful.
me. Yeah. And that's
Oh
another
yeah.
ego thing, though. I think religions is another ego thing to me too, which is why I'm more
Mhm.
spiritual than, I believe in God, all that, but that to me, because I grew up Catholic. That should say it all right there for you. I was the same as you when I was growing up. I saw all sorts of stuff, and no, we don't talk about that. Everything is a demon. There's no such thing as spirits, and you know how that goes.
Yeah, I was raised Baptist.
Just as
and
bad.
Southern Baptist,
Yeah,
and but you know, and I understand religions. I understand all the different belief systems, and it's like, but that's how people believe, and that's how they think, and
yeah,
each person has their own path, and if
yeah,
that's not the way you believe is your power,
yeah,
their power. If they believe it, walk it. I'm going to
yeah.
walk mine, and mine has worked out for me.
Right.
And and I mean, to me, it's more the bigger problems we have is testosterone
Yeah,
because men, power, money, uh, I want
yeah.
to, rah, rah, rah. The wars
The
pretty
big
much are made
caveman.
by men. The
Yeah,
caveman, rah, 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 and starting wars that destroy people and animals and children and families and kill, 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 kill over what?
yeah,
You know, none of it can ever hardly, say it was
yeah,
it, for real good reason.
yeah.
It did, I mean, the Second World War, we had to go to war, um, but it's still, the reason it started was horrible. The things
Yeah,
that had to be accomplished to stop it were horrible.
I
The
agree.
things like that, or Hiroshima,
Yeah,
um, the war started by the uppers, and the people that suffered were the innocent little people walking through the
yeah,
streets, getting
yeah,
melted, and then people thinking that's good. Well, it may have stopped the war, but it also wasn't, you know, there wasn't something beautiful
yeah,
happening when that happened.
yeah,
So It's and I'm not. I mean, you have to balance. Nobody wins anything
No,
really
no, yeah,
in any of that, and it's things may stop, but they just change or change faces and go
yeah,
under and come back. Right now we're going through a time where a lot of that crap at when I think it goes in a cycle every 70 years.
yeah,
Every
yeah,
70
I
years
agree.
we have a war, and it's reincarnated. It reincarnated from before, from the Civil War.
Yeah,
Uh, all a lot of the issues that reincarnated in the 40s, and then we're getting and dealing with the same issues now. You
yeah,
know, homophobia,
yes,
anti-Semitism, anyone of that's not white. Well, there aren't any
yeah.
white people that are white no more, honey.
That's
And
true.
we're all a blend. We are
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
There are good people, bad people, and people in between.
yes. And I
And
do have a lot of friends that are who are psychic and open who have just felt this disconnect right now. It just
yeah,
like you said, it's chaos going right now, and you can feel it. People like us are more sensitive to that, and you can feel it,
yeah.
which is why I think it's important that we're here too, because we can balance it out.
Well, I think that's what we're here for. And during wars is when psychic stuff comes to the surface
Yeah,
because people are wanting to know what happened to Johnny who went away and I don't know where they are. They're
yeah,
dead in another country. Where are they? They're missing in the ocean.
yeah,
And there becomes a rise of, and right now we're going through a thing of people interested in the old ways.
yeah,
Because I'm metaphysical, but I'm also kind of have a spiritualist vein going on.
yeah.
And when I did my table tipping, you know, I was invited to come do it. Now I got it all set up. I made my own tipping table and from a 1940s card table. It's great. It's a cherry.
That's
It's
cool.
it's just, and but mostly people have been scared the last few years. Of
They really
anything
have.
that
Yeah.
they're interested in. Even the paranormal people or the paranormal hunters, ghost hunters. Look at me like they want to poke me with a stick or something, like they're scared of me. And but I was there with going to do table tipping, and I brought my boards, and people were kind of interested. They were kind of scared, but once I finally explained everything and showed them, how to protect themselves from anything going on around whatever, and they all started handling the boards. Well, when it was time to do the boards, I bent over to pick up something and got up, and there were all these people with their hands on the board, ready to go. And I was like, okay. And then when it was time for the table tipping, there were several men there, but mostly women. Women run, boom, they want this stuff. They run for it.
Yeah, yeah,
And men are a little bit more scared. But these
yeah.
men, they were starting to feel their own energy come to the surface.
Ah,
And all of a sudden, there was all these people on the table tipping board, and it was like being in the 1890s. I was like, well, I've just got my spiritualist group sitting here, and they were
yeah.
in it so hard that the table was about to levitate.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
when it started to do it, because it's really a lot of physics.
Hmm.
Because I speak to the spirits behind me when I'm doing something like this, but I had their energy working under the table, over the table, and I'd raised a little cone of power over the table and a sphere around it. So the energy would only raise up to the top of the sphere, to the
Uh-huh.
top, about 5 or 6 above the table. And I talked about this last show, so anyone who's hearing this again, sorry. Um, but it's worth repeating because there were these tall individual operated candles lining the room because it was for, they had had a dinner. And when the energy got ready to invert and pull the table up, all the candles, it looked like somebody blew them out
Oh, cool.
at
Yeah.
once. and it scared all of the ghost hunters to death. But the people at the table, they were still buzzing for a week. They were like,
Oh yeah.
and they were in it, and it was so much fun. And but it was so old school,
Yeah.
and nobody had seen that kind of thing like that, because the table was getting ready to lift up because it felt like
That's yeah.
doing this, kind
Yeah,
of
from all
thing,
the energy. Yeah.
and it was getting ready to come up,
Yeah.
and I had to turn it all down because the ghost hunters, they were,
Yeah.
'cause they
Like
didn't
you said,
raise
they
with
ask
other
for it,
things.
but when it happens, they freak out.
Well, I don't think they had ever experienced that kind of energy before, of
Yeah.
course, and but it was amazing, amazing experience. I mean, I
Yeah.
had channeled for a month before I went to it, and
Yeah.
then it took me a week to quit channeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it just old school stuff is
Oh yeah,
wonderful.
definitely. When I do
Yeah,
investigations,
and
one of our big triggers that we use is music, and that we get a lot
oh
of
yeah,
and we get a lot of feedback when we use the old school music. And it's funny because we've had, we've been in buildings where that we know the history and it's older, and we'll put on like something more modern and get nothing. And
yeah,
then the older, we
yeah.
keep pushing back the songs and the genres and the decades of it, and you can tell when you hit whatever their decade is because they start reacting. You start getting, the lights flickering, or you get movements over here, that kind of stuff. So yeah, all that's all old time, or use cigars or stuff that they love, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, something to remember.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever heard of Chickamauga Battlefield.
Yes.
And I mean, it's green eyes and amazing, creepy things. But one time, a group of metaphysical friends of mine were doing a Beltane celebration out there, so I went, and there's a big tower, which is Wilder Tower, which has got amazing stories.
Uh-huh.
But we were down below it in a field, and we were chanting, doing a little energy raising, doing our Beltane celebration. And you could hear these other men just chanting with us. And we were
That's
like,
cool.
well, who else, who's here?
Yeah.
And when we were finished, there was nobody there. But the spirits were so
It was the
into
ancestors
it
were there.
that,
Yeah.
well, the ancestors were there. And
Yeah.
the Indians from that property back before the Civil War and before all of that, they said that there were moon-eyed people,
Yeah.
light-skinned moon-eyed people who built things there, and then they disappeared. They thought maybe they had a war and died or something
Yeah.
happened. And it's just, and then where that property is, it's been wars. The Indians wouldn't live on it. They would hunt on it,
Because they're
but they
smart.
would,
They know
they're
better.
smart. They knew.
Yeah.
And people are just, you know, the culture, the modern culture, just not so smart.
No, you're
You
right. Yeah.
but it draws good energy, bad energy, all sorts of energy, a lot
Yeah.
of really funky stuff. But music and frequency, because their
Yeah.
frequency. I
Exactly. Yeah.
created. I practiced with a veil splitter. I created doing vocalizations one on top of each other, and
Uh-huh.
and then reach it to a pitch. And what happens is you're raising. You get to a sort. You focus the frequency on the dimensional wall closest to you,
Okay.
and the material is vibrational. It's kind of like
Yeah.
magnetic. It's like
Yeah.
magnetic rice. I mean, it's there, but if you put a frequency to it, it will split the veil. And so you have to put the human element into it, but you can do it with frequency, but you have to put the human element in it.
Yeah.
And it will split that veil. And when it does, while it's open, You can see stuff, hear stuff, whatever, and then when you quit, as soon as you quit, it just goes right back.
Because that's really
But
cool.
you can use frequency. You can use the frequency to just,
Yeah,
open it up, see what's there. Because mostly what you get first is static, because that's
yeah,
what's newer frequency. That's what's the closest to you. And then right
yeah,
behind that's where, you got all the, what you think you're doing, kind of thing.
yes, yeah,
So it's the frequency, we have to, that's one thing with electronics you can do that you never could do before. You could find a way to make tools that will do the old school way, but in the new thing. I mean, using frequency, because it's hard for people to. Everyone has ADHD nowadays,
oh
and
yes,
it's been hard for me as a group to get them to get people to focus and keep a frequency going while
yeah,
you add on top of it. And
yeah,
they, after 10 minutes, they're like, wow. And I'm like, in the
yeah,
old days, honey, they would do it till it was done, you know.
exactly,
And,
exactly,
it's like, but if that kind of thing I love, but that's the
yes,
human device.
yeah.
And we have so many freaky things.
I know. I think that's part of the problem. If we just sit down and let go of all this, I think our mind is cluttered with all the technology, everything. But when you clear it, just like you said in the frequencies, you're opening yourself more to see better. People don't get that.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't want to, they don't have the
And
patience.
no, and it's very hard for someone not to have a phone for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I came right before, when I was a child. I was into drawing and spending
Yeah.
time and focusing when I was a kid. So I'm so glad I didn't get into video games when they came along. But not that they're bad, but I like to do things,
Yeah. Yeah.
with my hands.
Artistic.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and there are so many adults I know that they just cannot go 5 minutes without something blaring, the phone, the TV. They can't listen to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one modern thing I think we need to work on and get, take a break from the electronic, a little
Yeah.
bit,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to listen to
Yeah. I agree.
ourselves. And,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
agree. I will when I go babysit my grandbaby that I told you about earlier, my especially when she was little, I would just sit there and hold her and hang out with her. And my daughter-in-law and my son would be like, "Why aren't you listening to music? Why don't you have the TV on?" I'm like, "I don't want. I'm spending time with her. I don't need music."
yeah,
And some people just constantly need noise in the back. To me, it's noise.
it is noise. And but it also keeps them from thinking, I'm not quite sure what they're blocking out, but they're blocking out something.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's like, and I'm the kind that I want to listen. I want to, when I'm sitting with someone, say like what we're doing, when I have, you know, when you really think back, especially when you get older, you understand it's the people that you spent so much time with 40, 50 years ago, it all your memories of them come down to like a handful of memories.
yeah, yeah,
And, you know, and you've got to spend time with people and talk with them and share the experience with them, because they're not always going to be here. You're not always going to be here.
yeah, exactly.
And you want to have that connection, because you've got to be present.
Yeah,
And the one thing somebody told me a while back was, it's now. The past is one
yeah.
thing, the future hasn't happened, but it is now. That, and I think it's in a cartoon that, it says that's
Mm,
why it's called the present. The
yes.
present. And
Yeah, that's I
I
think
mean,
the
well, it
younger
came
kids
from
don't get that as much.
yes, but
Yeah, that's
it's, yeah, it be present.
yeah,
You're
exactly.
building your spirit story. You're building your life,
Yeah,
and don't be afraid to do it. Don't be afraid to interact with people. Don't be afraid to tell someone you're sorry.
Yeah.
You know, right now I know so many people who they can't back up and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I ran over you," you
Oh, I
know,
know. You
or
see people going crazy at the store or something over something little like that.
oh, oh yeah, like fighting over toilet paper. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I remember that
I
too.
thought, you
We
know,
had a case here where a
uh,
girl didn't hold the door open for someone, and she didn't say sorry or thank you or something, and they ended up in a shooting. I'm like, what in the world?
well, and today I saw someone. I saw this. He was a big kid, but like a 6 foot kid, but he probably was like 12, just
Yeah.
big, and he was crossing the street. I mean, at the side thing, but this guy in a construction truck was just blowing the horn at this kid because they were in such an all fired hurry, and that kid just he was like, whatever. He didn't even react, and but I thought. Road rage, people are just
Yeah.
bananas. And
Well, and sometimes the spirits
well,
trying
I
to
mean, when I have,
communicate to you like that.
they do. Well, it happens all the time for people who are
Yeah.
open to it. I mean, the other week when a drunk ran me off the road and I flipped 3 times like
I know.
Nadia Comaneci, um, I had metaphysical things happen, and then but out of it, when I got out of the car, I went, something good will come out of this. And it kind of shook something loose from me.
Hmm.
And it really, I've had several very interesting metaphysical transformations happening. And it's been like, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. And I thought it wouldn't have happened if the bad thing hadn't happened.
Yeah. And that's one of the things
I
I'm
would
really
have
trying
still
to get back to right
been
now
in.
too. Yeah, because you never know. Like even a little thing,
Yes.
like you get stuck in traffic, you don't know if that was your guide, spirit guides, keeping you from something worse up the road. So that's something I'm working on a
Yeah.
lot right now too. It's a
Stopping you
patience
from.
to, yeah, pay attention to the signals around you.
And sometimes it's way you don't go, oh, until it's hindsight
Yeah,
because you're in it. When you're
yeah,
in it, you
yeah,
can't see it because you're in it. The trees
yeah,
are right there.
yeah,
Then when you get past it and you look back at the trees, you go, oh, oh,
yeah.
oh. Because when I
Or you're
have my
so stuck
rest,
on what you lost. If you
I have
lost
my,
something, or yeah,
yeah, yeah, but what did you gain? Sometimes
exactly.
life will knock something off.
Yeah.
It will knock the boulder out from in front of you
It'll knock
because
you on
you're
your butt.
stuck.
Yeah,
It will knock you on your butt. And
yeah.
anyone who ever goes, I can't go any lower,
Mm. No,
they,
don't ever say
the world
that.
will show you. Don't ever say that.
Mm.
There was a little kid back in the metaphysical, when I worked in a metaphysical store 35 years ago. Um, he came in and he was a new little witch, and he had just learned about karma. And he went, I decided I wanted to have all my karma now so that I don't have to fool with it later. Well, boom, you know. And I said, well, you didn't include that you get the lesson with the karma.
Yes.
And so you just went through the karma. And his life went to it had a rock. He had put rocks in his pockets and jumped in the river, and
Yeah, I can.
basically kind of thing. And he didn't get the lesson. I said, you didn't ask to get the lesson of the karma. You just wanted the karma. This is the
Yeah,
karma. It's like breaking the
exactly.
other end of a piece of dynamite.
Yeah,
And and if he lived through all of that, maybe he learned something. But I
yeah,
thought everything's a lesson. Everything is not everything that looks bad is bad. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and death is a horrible thing sometimes, but it also can be your friend.
yeah,
I mean, I've been, you know, in set. I've died before, and at the
Yeah.
time, it would have been an okay blessing, because I'd been through something really bad, but I lived this, and that's another thing. If you're not, it's not your time. Forget it.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
If it's
Yeah.
your And if it is your time, the bus is going to get you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It and the more and more things happen to me, I go, well, there is a destiny. You know, it's kind of like things happen,
It was the
you
spirit
know,
world getting
and
your attention. It was getting your attention.
getting your attention.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, so it's not always bad to have something bad happen to you.
Yeah.
It's what you
Yeah.
do with it. You just
Yeah.
can't
I
sit
agree.
down. You can sit in the dirt and cry and pour ashes on your head, or you can say, okay, how am I going to keep moving? You know,
Yeah.
how am I going to keep living? What am I going to do? How am I going to become better? How am
Yeah.
I, the universe is going to give me a rope. How am I going to grab it?
Yeah. It's the energy
You
you're
know,
putting out.
it's the
It's
energy
just
you're
like you
putting out
said, if
and
you're
everything.
having a bad day and like you're like, damn, now I'm gonna have a, your morning's bad, then you're like, well, now I'm gonna have a bad rest of the day. You're gonna have a bad rest of the day. But if you be like, no, I'm
You,
gonna shake it off, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better.
yeah. And you just have to magnetize to, because we
Yeah.
are electromagnetic fields.
Yeah.
Magnetize what you need. But
Yeah.
even if you're a positive, happy go lucky person, you know, everyone has horrible days.
Oh
Everyone
yeah.
has horrible
Yeah.
lives sometimes, but it can't be what defines you. You have to define yourself.
Yeah.
And as a spirit, that's what you're experiencing. The spirit's learning all of it. You know,
Yeah.
it's recording in your brain, and it's when you die, it downloads, and they say, "What did you learn?" You know,
But yeah, it's your
and
lesson.
this is part
What
of the
was your
learning.
lesson? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And when I
That's what
died,
people,
that's
yeah.
what happened. I went, "What did you learn?" You know, and I thought at that time, I thought not a whole hell lot.
Yeah.
I learned I didn't like being bound. Learned that I bounced when I hit asphalt, but
And not in a good way.
and not in a good way. And but uh, yeah, you know, it's you got to be flexible, and if the bomb goes off in your life, then that means okay, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I still have a chance. What am I going to do? How am I going to do it? Am
Yeah.
I going to let that define who I am or stop me? And it's about being resilient, I think it
Yeah.
helps. You can be very depressed. You can be, I mean, I have bad depression and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't let it be. I mean, I learned to shift.
Yeah.
If something is really getting me, I go do something. I go draw. I go
Yeah.
do something else. I
Yeah.
create. And
Yeah.
and if you create during your bad times, you'll create the most beautiful things you'll ever create in your life,
Yeah. I agree.
because that's going to a core of something, and
Yeah.
that's nothing but emotion. And
Yeah.
so we can turn something ugly into something beautiful.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
but our spirit, you know, and then when you become a spirit, you know, the spirits are amazing to
Oh,
look at.
yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, so and people, if you ever get to see what your own spirit looks like, you sometimes you can recognize it, sometimes you can't, you know, because
Uh-huh.
it's representing something else.
Yeah.
So but it's all, you're getting to write a story. So, you
Yeah.
know, don't let anyone tell you how your story
I
ends.
agree. Yeah. Don't let anyone. See, a lot of people that are there to
Yeah.
block you, they teach you, but I think it's a lesson. I think it's a lesson in what you do with it, like you said, is where you're going to go. Because you're going to have a lot of negative people, and a lot of people putting you down. But I think that you have to be open to your guides. All of us have spirit guides. All of us has ancestors with us, and and it's no one's special. You're not special. I'm not special from what I get. It's just that we've learned to open ourselves to that, and everyone is capable of it. But we just get too caught
Oh,
up in our own world.
oh, please. and this world is something else.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I've had some really bad experience with people who really took me there,
Yeah.
but so many good things came out of it. I
Yeah.
can bitch and moan, and I do bitch and moan on when I get mad.
Of course.
But then I go, but look how I have to thank them because it brought something, it made me dust myself off and go, no, I don't have to take that. Or
Yeah.
am I'm asking people to permission for me to be me or something. It's like sometimes we fall back into those ways we learned as children.
Yeah.
And that's part of the journey too, learning to not be somebody else, make your own path.
Yeah.
And honey, you got to make your
But
own
when, yeah,
path.
exactly. And when you find your path and you know it. I mean, I'm the same way. I'm like I
Oh,
said, I'm going through my own spiritual journey right now, and I feel like I'll make two steps ahead, and then like 5, 10 things will happen to me that drag me back. But I think it's for a reason. I'm being taught, pay attention, do something, and everyone needs to remember that because I know everyone's going through hard times. Just like you said, we're
yeah.
we're
And right now we're at a pinnacle,
yeah,
the pinnacle of a pyramid of hate.
yes,
But something happened today to me for that. I'm not going to bring up any issues or anything like that. But I feel like the worm has turned. I think for people, I think something is turning for the better. So people don't
I
be
do too.
scared, you know,
Yeah,
because that's what people want you to be. They want you to be scared. They want you to
yeah,
go, oh, you know,
yeah,
oh, poor little dear, shut up and let us do whatever.
yeah,
You're going to be happy. You're not going to have to worry. You're not
yeah,
going to need money. You're not going to, it's like all that crap.
yep.
I'm
They're trying
like,
to lull you.
and then that's when, that's when, you have to reach back into your DNA when your DNA weren't such wusses
Yeah, right.
and say, I'm going to reach up and grab you. And
Yeah.
I mean, our ancestors weren't wusses; they wouldn't have put up with this crap.
Oh no,
So
absolutely
it's
not.
going to be okay.
Yeah. I think we're all going
But
to
they're
make
going
it
to be.
through.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
We're all going to make it through it. It's you know, and everyone's flexible. And even though there are those who want to make you think that it's never going to be good or it's not good enough or what they have it to offer is the only thing, don't fall for it.
Yeah.
You know what's right. Just be
Yeah.
you, stand for it, put your feet squarely and say this is who I am, this is what I believe. Not and don't let other people tell you what you think.
Yeah.
And what you think spiritually makes a difference too
It
because
really
you're
does.
projecting all the time.
Yeah.
And you bring into life what you think and your words bring it into life. So,
Yeah. I mean, just like I like
focus
to
into
say, like if you
music.
have a
Focus.
cross that you wear, the cross means nothing unless you
Yeah.
believe in the cross. I have a
And if
stone,
you,
a crystal. It doesn't mean anything unless I know what it believes and what it means to me. Yeah. So,
yes,
but it means nothing
I have
unless you know and you believe in
if you
it.
don't put the power behind it.
Yeah.
And if you put the power behind it, then what happens is, the consciousness out there, there's a big, but whatever you believe, there's a
Yeah.
big sphere of that energy that's
Yeah.
got a little tether that's connected to you.
Yeah.
And when you believe and do your prayers, and whether you're Christian or Wiccan or whatever you are,
Yeah.
Catholic, whatever you are, when you put your prayers and your energy out, it goes to that balloon. So that
Yeah.
tether, it's magnetized. It's like making
Yeah.
a cell phone call. So when you need
Yeah.
help, you can make a cell phone call and pull it right into you. So prayer
Yeah.
works. There's a because everything that's been created when people, for good, for bad, for whatever.
Yeah.
There's a big thing out there that's God. There's a big thing out there that says Jesus. There's a big thing out there that says,
Yeah.
something, whatever There is.
Yeah.
And you have to, but the more you believe and the more connection you have to it, the more you send to it, the more
Yeah,
you get.
exactly.
And the more you become part of it and ground yourself, and
The more
all
control
the
you
stuff
have.
around you can get your attention off of the fact
Yeah.
that the more control you have. And
That's
it
one of the
all
big
works
things when yeah,
wonderfully, but you have
it
to
does.
do it.
Yeah, that was one of the big things that I did like about the foundation is we didn't come in like, I said I'm a Christian spiritual, but I didn't come in to every client and expect them to get help through my beliefs. So we always, what are
Yeah.
your beliefs? What's your religion? What's this? And I've had people, they go house calls, all that kind of stuff, and they get rid of spirits, and it could be Buddhist, it could be, whatever, and they use their prayers and it helps. It's not just a Christian prayer. It's
And
just not the Muslim prayer. It's everything. It's your beliefs, and it's going to be your guides that are going to help you.
that's going to help you. And if it's
Yeah.
something that you're talking to that is only structured on a certain, I mean, if the way you're approaching it, say like the Catholic, people think the Catholics are the only ones who have something to take care of something funky. And if it's not something that listens to that particular
Yeah.
covenant, idea, it can piss it off.
Yeah.
And I have seen it where people have gone to bishops and had stuff and tried clear things and couldn't. And then, but it was able to be cleared away with energy. Because if you,
Yeah.
everything is energy, deal with it as energy, and you can pretty well root anything out, with that kind of thing. But if you have to approach it in a spiritual sense, it has to be relating to what you're
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
to make a difference. And if it doesn't like what you're saying, then you have to, it's not the end. That's what it is then you take a different, you go, energy, we're cleaning the house.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
clean the house. And things where I used to, when I used to work with a group, anytime there were children involved, it's like, you have to be a mama bear and papa
Yeah.
bear and
Yeah.
go in there and say, I don't care what anyone else, we got to take care of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can't have something scaring a child,
Yeah.
And if you can't do it, try the other things. And if they don't work, let's take the bulldozer in. But you got
Yeah.
to know,
Yeah.
so that, because if
And you have to be
tries one
stern
time,
with what you're doing. Yeah.
yeah. And there are people who try one thing and then they go, well, that didn't work. Bye. You have a problem. Bye. See you
Yeah.
later. And I don't think I've
Exactly.
ever left anyone where I've done that. I've like, we're going to do what we can do.
And
But
that's what
it's
we
also,
always
they
tell
have,
people. You're like, I'm not waving a wand and getting rid of your problem. I'm going to empower you and
no,
show you in your way how you can, because I'm not going to be here sitting here every day something happens to help you.
yeah.
You need to be there and have it in yourself to be able to do that. That was one of our big components that, and I want people to know that, it's
And
scary, but
well, you have a relationship. They're having a relationship with whatever's there.
yeah,
And some people, I've met people before, they act like they want to get rid of it, but it's their
they
identity.
don't. Yeah.
And then they feed it and they keep it going. And then they have 10 people come and look at stuff. And,
Yeah.
there was someone in Pensacola. And this poor little lady had real problems. And I went to her house and looked at everything. And I talked to her for about 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And she needed to go help. She promised me she would go get help. And I said, don't, I said, as soon as I go out this door, you're going to go psychic shopping because you don't
Yeah.
think it's real. What I'm telling you is real. But I said, it's your, it was problems.
Yeah.
And so she immediately went to a person that's a big muck, or was a big muckety muck in the psychic community. They went, charged her about $300, said, oh, yeah, you got a problem. Your house is built on a Indian burial ground.
Indian burial ground.
She came back to me, got freaked out. And I said, honey, It's not an Indian burial, man. We had this conversation. I told you don't go. You need to go to a doctor, and she just wouldn't do it. And she eventually lost her house and went into whatever facility.
Yeah.
But the psychic who knew that she was having that, if Arrow psychic were there, they knew what the problem was, but they went in and took that money and went right out.
Yeah.
And whew, but I didn't take any
Yeah.
money from her. I said, that's no, 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 darling, this
Yeah.
isn't that kind of
That's a
thing.
red flag. That's
It's
one
a
of the big, we had a case here in Texas where we had someone come in and tell the people that they had a spider demon, whatever that is, and had them terrified, and they were ready to bulldoze. Like, I think they had like two trailers on their property, and they were ready to razz it down and bulldoze it. Again, I think there was also an Indian burial ground. I don't know why there always is with the psychics, but we're like, these poor people were terrified when they came to us because of what they were told. It's just
and
crazy.
what a spider demon.
I
I'm sure
never.
there's something for everything out there. I mean, there's a version of every. I can't say that there isn't a version of something
Yeah,
like that out there because been things
yeah,
I have gone, yeah, 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 and then I've run into it. You know,
right, exactly. And I don't want to run
uh,
into a spider demon because I don't like spiders.
I haven't run into a spider demon, but
Yeah,
but that's pretty special.
yeah,
And and I've never tried to tell somebody something to scare them
yeah,
into or then say scare the hell out of them and then say, oh yeah, it's a problem. See ya.
yeah. And
And
with fifteen hundred
I've
dollars,
never
I'll fix
understood.
it.
Yeah, bring it. My favorite one was bring me $600 in a paper bag at midnight, and I'll make it all go away. And I said, yeah, the money.
Exactly. I was about to
And
say that was the only thing that went
money
away.
goes away. Well, let's talk about the Warrens a little bit. Since you were in the
Okay.
Warrens Foundation, now explain to the people out there what was the kind of what is that? I
Okay.
mean,
So, and what people don't know, there's a rift with the Warrens. So that what people think of, like when you see The Conjuring and all those movies, that's with Nesper.
yeah,
That is actually Lorraine Warren's daughter's the son-in-law basically runs that. So they're the ones that had control of the museum, all that kind of stuff. The one that I was
okay,
affiliated with was the grandson of the Warrens, but there was a rift, and I think a lot of the people who deal with spirituality and deal with the stuff they dealt with so much, I think that also plays into the lives and to their family, and it
right.
caused a rift. So I was with the
Mhm.
grandson, and like I said, he worked with Joe Frank. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's another real amazing guy that he actually worked with the Warrens as well. um, and I love talking to him. He can give you some amazing stories. He went out on investigations with them, but
Oh,
basically, they just wanted to recreate what Ed and Lorraine Warren had started. They people called them when they would have issues, and they were trying to push that and make it go forward, but on a global network. And it was an amazing idea.
oh,
I loved it when I worked there. It's just that it fell apart. There's egos, that kind of stuff, but I love doing it. I met some amazing people. I met amazing psychics. I met amazing friends. I have friends in different parts of the world do that, and it was an amazing experience. But it was always to honor Ed and Lorraine Warren, because to me they were the ones that started, because they were doing the paranormal before it was like we are now. We talk about it and everyone accepts it. Back then,
yeah.
people thought you were crazy. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? But they didn't care. They just wanted to help people, and that's what drew me to the foundation. I just wanted to be able to help people.
Oh,
And I know there's
well,
a lot of people that talk
my first
about Ed and Lorraine
exposure to
Warren.
yeah, yeah,
They say a
go
lot of
ahead.
bad things, but I think that's like going to be anyone in our field. Anyone who does the kind of work
Mhm.
that we do and they do, you're going to have skeptics and you're going to have believers. So I'm kind of lay in the middle of when I meet someone until I really know you to see what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to psychics, they have to prove the proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
Uh, and Lorraine Warren had proof in the pudding. as far as I'm concerned.
She
When
she
I was
really
in the
did.
70s, I watched I watched them on shows and things. I love the way she talked. She just had a very down to earth skill.
Yeah.
Uh, Came off as a very Christian, psychic, which isn't, a lot of Christians would go,
No.
but
Oh yeah.
but there's every walk. There's, but I always had an affinity for her. Uh, and I remember getting one of their early books and enjoying that. And and so when I was young, we I knew of them. But yeah, they were kind of like out there, when the Amityville horror thing
Yeah.
happened, and
Yeah.
um, I remember watching the show where the Lutzes were showing the pictures,
Yeah.
like Ghost Boy looking on the
Oh yeah,
stairs.
looking, yeah, yeah,
Scared the hell out of me back then. That was like in 76 or 77 or
yeah.
something. And I was like, whoa, what's that?
It
And
is a spooky looking
and
picture.
it was very scary, and also if you think about it, very sad because it was a little ghost boy, a little child who'd
Exactly.
been killed. So I wasn't. I was still a teenager, and I thought, later on I was going, I liked haunted houses and scary things, but then you have to also remember some of these spirits, are damaged people
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Not always, but for someone with a problem or wanting to talk or get a message across,
Yeah.
and so someone like Lorraine, I felt like I felt she really can't tell it. So
I really
the
do too.
movies. The movies are very. I mean, The Conjuring, the movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, but you have to always remember it's Hollywood. You
Exactly.
know, the Amityville horror movie, the scared the crap out of all of us when it first came out. When I remember
Yeah.
reading that, and I was reading it at like 2 in the morning when I was like 16. And at 2 in the morning, I got to the part where Jody, the pig with the red eyes
Yeah.
looking at me, and I said, maybe this isn't a good idea to read this at
Right.
2 in the morning. Uh, because it was so scary, back then, because we didn't have all
Yeah.
of this. It was, if
Exactly.
you had a TV was 3 channels, you had a radio,
Yeah. And
you
it
had your
wasn't as accepted
imagination.
back then. Yeah.
No, 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 no. It was people always were fascinated with it, but the majority of people going, poo pooing it.
Yeah.
But the Warrens were always at it, and they kept at it, and so I think it's very interesting. I wonder, I'm sure they would be very surprised, or Ed was gone when it happened,
Yeah.
but I feel like they would probably be very surprised how big it is now because everybody
I
knows who they
know.
are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when in the 70s, just a small group knew them.
Yeah.
And like Hans Holzer, you say that name now, and a lot of people go, "Who?"
I know.
Or
Exactly.
Sybil Leek, who was a great psychic
Yeah.
and crazy,
It's all
crazy,
cyclical
but
though, like you said. It's all
she would do
cyclical.
some. Yeah, it's interesting. And ghost hunting is, you can't throw a rock without hitting a ghost show, or while
I
we're on a
know. Yeah.
podcast,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
it's all at our fingertips, and
Yeah.
you can become your own creator, your own podcast, your own ghost hunter, your own. But there are people, but you need to do it safely and carefully,
And
because
respectfully.
and respectfully, because I'm telling you, there are so many people going out stirring up stuff. There are people I've known pulling up bad things to drop into places so they can go investigate it and then leave. You
Yeah.
once you've opened that, that's
Yeah.
there, and then walk off and leave it for somebody else's problem. And if you go in there and you don't know what you're experiencing, you know, and
Yeah.
opening yourself up to something that is not quite a ghost, or it's malignant, or
Yeah.
it's something else, or a thought form, or
Yeah.
something else. You gotta know your stuff, or you can
Yeah.
really open yourself to bad things, in your family to bad things, and
Yeah. You can have stuff follow
or
you back if
experiences
you're
that.
not careful.
Oh, all the time I've known people having that problem, and
Yeah.
that you know
Yeah. You have to be careful.
it's very careful, and I think a lot of people look at it and think it's entertainment. It is entertaining. It is very entertaining, but it is not entertaining when you are trying to sleep and
Exactly.
you got a
Exactly.
dead person there going, whoa, 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 whoa. When we moved in
Exactly.
here, I had to keep that mirror covered, but we had,
Yeah.
but I cleansed this house because at first, haunted houses are great because the rent is cheap, usually cheaper,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it has character.
Yeah.
But you have to let it. I let them breathe. I see what's in here, in the place I move into. And
Yeah.
this one, there was, unbeknownst to us, a few houses over, a guy had died and had laid in his house like 6 weeks or something,
Oh,
before he was
geez.
found.
Yeah.
And that was before we moved in this house, and that was somewhere over away from us. But that spirit went right into this house,
Yeah.
and I kept trying to go to sleep, and
And he
you
was
see
probably
this guy
attracted to
standing
you
there
there.
twiddling his, yeah, and he was wanting to talk, I guess. And he was mumbling, and I was like, okay, what's this? We'll see what they have to say. And at some point, I got touched, and I said, hey, no. And then that was it. I cleaned that house, and that was the end of that. But the house was cheap because it was haunted.
Yeah.
And so we got a house sitting on the waterfront in Florida. When I moved down here, now it's gone, it's about doubled, but it's still cheaper than anywhere else I know here. But we're on the waterfront in Florida, and in a house that cost us $550 a month when we first moved in.
Oh, nice. Can you even imagine that?
It was just, it is because it was haunted. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, we'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take what's behind curtain number 3.
Oh, I would have
you
taken it.
know,
I would have taken
so
it,
it's not
man.
always a bad. I took it, and if I had to put up with it, I would have put up with it. But I got rid of it. It was just, he just needed to go somewhere else,
Yeah. Yeah.
but to move on.
But if you
But
don't know how to deal with it, then
bah,
and that happens to you, what are you going to do?
then you have a
That's what
problem, because it
exactly. And
was,
it
it
can,
touched me, and I thought, ew, don't you touch me,
yeah.
and that was it. I thought, yeah, I said, out. But
Yeah.
if someone didn't know what to do about that, then they would just be having
Yeah.
another roommate, that would be
Yeah.
irritating.
Exactly.
So
That you don't know what to do with. I mean, I've had
it's
stuff all
simple.
the time. And I'm just like you said, you got to cleanse your place and tell them to leave. I mean, I woke up in the middle of the night and my dogs were going crazy and they kept on it because they were messing with my dogs. And I finally said, stop, leave the dogs alone. I'm trying to sleep. And everything just went quiet. Everything was fine. I'm like, thank you. Sometimes they're just being
While you were
mischievous.
saying they're just being, sometimes they're being mischievous, but animals will see them,
They
because
really do.
they
Yeah.
and if they're, and sometimes they're happy and sometimes they're not about it. And while you were
Yeah.
saying it, I heard the name Barbara, so I don't know who that was. So anyway, but
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know what that. So
I,
I don't know what that was. But
I don't
anyway,
know. It'll come to me later, though. That's what
just
always happens. Later, I'll figure
it'll
it
come to
out.
you later. Maybe it'll be something around you. Maybe you'll meet a barber here in a day or two.
Right?
So but the Lawrence, now I've know people who are trying to be bigger than the Warrens.
Yeah. Yeah.
They think that and the thing is, I think a lot of people who are starting the ghost hunting thing, the ego thing, just what cracks me up is these people who think that they're world known. They have 600 followers, or something,
Yeah, yeah,
and they think they're world known, but they think they're going to. And then when it's a sour thing for them, go after other people because they feel like, well, if I can't do it, no one else is going to.
yeah, exactly.
And so, and I've
And
heard
then,
people like that bitching about the Warrens and stuff.
but I think the Warrens weren't in it to try to get big, like you're saying. They were in it to just help people.
Yeah,
And that's why I have more respect.
yeah,
And I always, looked at them because they weren't trying to be like, hey, look at me. They were just trying to help people. That's all they were there trying to do.
yeah.
Not like all
And
these
it's
others, like
like,
you
but
said.
now it's the Kim Kardashian kind of things of
Yeah.
the
Oh,
the
that's a perfect way to
the,
say
the
it.
world. Hey, they're always Kim Kardashian. The instant, add water, poof, and
Yeah.
it's like you gotta put the work in. If you do good work and you if you do real work, good work, the work will come.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go after it chasing it for money, you're always going to be chasing it for money.
Yeah.
You're always going to be chasing the balloon. If you're doing it because you cannot stop doing it because it's what you love and it's who you are, but you do it good, you have to be objective, and you can't be
Yeah.
egotistical because you're always going to get in your own way. You're always going
Yes.
to make enemies. And no
Yeah.
matter what you do, if you're a nice person, you're always going to make an enemy
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't have to ever try to get people mad at me because, I'll go and do myself. I'm like, I bring your, I'm, you bring the coloring book, I'll bring the crayons, and I just have a great time.
Yeah.
But people get, but if they see you doing something they can't do, they take it as a threat.
I know.
And I'm like, how can you take that as a threat? Why
Yeah.
don't you do something, instead of looking like when you bring things together, you make things bigger. Energy gets
Yeah.
bigger by attracting more
Yeah.
energy.
And
And
the
if you
spirit world
bring
knows
it
your
together,
intentions.
yeah, go ahead.
Like I said, the spirit world knows your intentions. So if you're doing it just for ego or whatever, it knows, and you're not going to get out of it what because you're not putting anything into it. I think that's a big part of all these people. They flame up, you see them all over the place, and then you're like, who? Where'd they go? What
Yep.
was that show?
And it goes
Because,
away just as quickly as
yeah,
it came.
yeah,
Because there's one I know that right now, they're using the spirits that they use. They're abusing the spirits in a way that the
yeah,
spirits
yeah,
misunderstood. They thought that they were being talked to and enjoyed and they were loving it and being brought to the table. And when they find out that they're not, boom, it's
yep,
going to turn off for those people.
yeah,
And it's like you can fool other people's, and you can fool spirits for a little while if they just are if they are taking you at face value, because people
yeah,
hide things inside their bodies.
yeah,
So, and we can cloak stuff that the spirits can't.
yeah,
And vice versa, they can cloak some things we can't see sometimes. But once they catch on, they're no fool.
yeah.
And I have seen that happen time and time and
Me too.
time and over and over. And
Yeah,
then I won't say a name. There's a big time person that I used to I saw several times. There's several psychics and people like that I've seen it. And of course, it's really the good look. I mean, they're usually really good looking and young, and they're doing
yeah,
their thing.
yeah,
Blah, 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 blah,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah. But they abuse the spirits, and then they
yeah.
wonder why their health goes to hell and
The
their life turns to
relationships,
crap. They may
everything.
have, they may have the money and the reputation, but they don't have the health and the ability to enjoy it.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
so you've got to watch how you're putting it out because you'll get it back.
Yeah. We
And
will, definitely.
but and hopefully, I mean, and I like to see people with talent. I love um oh, the little young psychic Taylor.
Oh, Tyler Henry.
Um Tyler
Tyler
Henry.
Henry. Yeah.
My brain, I'm old. I had a brain. I love his energy. I love to
Yeah.
listen to him.
Yeah. He's got good
Um
energy.
there's just something very sweet. He's very sweet.
Yeah.
And then I met one that was my hero for a while until I met them. And that was a sour little. And I thought, ooh, this is one of those don't meet your heroes. But after I met him, I went, well, I can do what he's doing. So I'm going to,
Yeah.
but you got to be able to prove who you are and
Yeah.
do it, bring it to the table. And if you don't know how to do it, learn how to do it. And, but everyone needs to learn to get the ego out of the way, bring it to the table, and everyone just experience and explore and experiment and
Yeah. Because
bring it open.
otherwise, you're
Open the
bringing more harm than good. If you're not in
oh
it for the right reasons, and the person that you're allegedly trying to help, you can make it worse for them. You just can't
no,
be that way.
no, and there are so many that they're like what are they, sociopaths?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've met two in my past that were just sociopaths, and they were so sweet and kind, and they knew how they were supposed to act, and until they got tired of that. It's like an alien learning how to. Well, I have to act human to fit in, to get what
Yeah.
I want. But then they get impatient because it's not all about them, and then
Yeah.
that face falls off. And
And it makes it
I when
easier
I
for them to
start,
get attachments.
oh please, like ticks and fleas.
Yeah.
And there's one I know that would go. I begged them to do protection and do their thing, and they got on a show right before they got dipped in something, and they went. Mark wants me to use protection, but I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about it. I'm protected, and I tell people it's like going into a nuclear plant. Put your hands without protection into a vat of radiation. Think about how, and then wondering why you got burned, you know.
Exactly.
But then again, you have to kind of sit back and eat popcorn, and you don't really want to do it, but you kind of go, "Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah. I try
interesting."
to tell you. Yeah.
So, did you learn a lesson? They never learn a lesson, but you sit
Yeah.
there just like, well, that's interesting, isn't it? you know, but
Exactly. You just got
you
to sip
know,
your tea and sit back.
you got to sip your tea, get your popcorn, get some Skittles.
There you go.
Watch that show because that show would be fun.
Yeah.
But
Right. That would be fun.
it is like, but yeah, because people, and now being psychic too, people don't realize it's just as bad as being a psychic and a group of psychics is as it is to be a drag queen. Because believe me, in my day, I was one when I was young.
And I
For
bet you looked
charity, I would do.
amazing. Thank you.
It was, well, thank you. But I did look amazing when I was young, for in Patsy Cline drag. But I was a ladylike. I was ladylike. But but drag queens, are just, I mean, people are watching them on shows, but and all that, and they think it's great. But when you get behind the scenes, it's either it's like the psychics. You'll find beautiful, wonderful, precious people, and then you have
Yeah.
some that you would just push into a wood chipper and have it spit out.
Yeah.
So later. And there are psychics that are just like being behind the scenes with drag queens. They will cut
Yeah.
your tires. They will
Yeah.
whatever they can do because
Yeah. They're
they're
like
going to
energy
reach out.
vampires.
They are, and I've had one that's pushed me beside. I was going in the store, and this person was waiting for me, in the store, and I said, "I'll be right with you." I was about to put myself in. This other psychic pushed me to the side, put her hand on my, solar plexus, and pushed me out of the way to get to that person. Now, I
Wow.
wouldn't have minded if that person went to her,
Yeah.
uh, but when I was sitting at my table afterwards, when the person wasn't there to hear, well, I really can't tell you what I said, but I went off. They had to throw us out in the backyard till we got that ironed out. And I was like, "You ain't never touching me like that. You ain't pushing me out of the way. I don't go and do that to you. I don't do that to someone else. I don't care if she went to you. If she went to you, that's who was meant to go to
Yeah.
you. But you are not greedily going to push me out of the way to do anything." And the
Yeah.
owner of the store let it happen. They were sitting there rolling their eyes when she did it. And I said, "You don't do that."
Yeah.
And I'm usually really laid back and nice, but
Until you get
but
pushed.
dealing with psychic, yeah. And there are some great psychics out there, but they have to work around that,
Yeah.
and it's the ones that are going to push you under the water to get to the surface.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be shows about that, but I don't know if it would be
Right?
good. It would be like it's not it wouldn't be a really good reality show, but it's amazing to see. And there are people I can't stand that have terrible personalities, but they're
Yeah.
good psychics. I'll give them their props, but
Yeah.
they're creeps.
Yeah.
And then there's sweet little people that are wonderful psychics that but they can't deal with people.
Yeah.
I mean, they can deal with spirits much easier than they can deal with people.
Yeah.
And they certainly can't do that, the elbow coming up and knocking them out of the way. And and it's like, oh, and then it's the psychics, who are good, if you turn in evidence that you could lead to something, that you turn it into a cop and they'll say psychic, throw it in the garbage.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we we have to build up a way for psychics. People who are psychics need to build up evidence
Yeah.
and reputation, not for ego, but for proof to show
For
I
proof,
can
because
do
there
this.
is a lot of people out there that are trying to scam in
Oh,
this field that we're in.
yeah, and there's some people who do wonderful work, but they can't get seen,
Yeah.
and then they give up.
Yeah.
And so I'm a kind of a old biddy. I mean, it's hard to get rid of me. I'm like bad breath. I keep coming back. Um, so, but I think there needs to be programs and stuff for psychics to have a chance to do. And then if they have a certain level, learn how to deal with that. And if they want to do something else, learn the techniques. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it
Yeah.
doesn't. But
But that's a
but
problem
there,
with the shows. Even if it was a psychic show or the ghost show, because if you're truly an authentic person, like you said, sometimes you're going to get something, sometimes you're not. But I think on the shows they push you have to always get something. So it's going to tend to bring and levitate more of the people that are going to be prone to be like, okay, I'll make that up. Okay, I'll let's fudge this a little bit. So
yeah,
I don't think there could ever truly be a show that could do that because the authentic people wouldn't come through the way it should.
it wouldn't come through because people are looking about money,
Yeah.
ratings,
Yeah.
and what drama they would want to see you fighting. And
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
the thing is, though, someone would make a hell of a lot of money with fighting psychics because they are bitches, male or female. I mean, sometimes I have seen them. It is like, and
I know what
I'm
you mean.
like,
Yeah.
and it's like, whoa. And then you
So the
throw in
psychic housewives.
egotistical ghost hunters, houses, yes. And then you get good or good-hearted ghost hunters and good-hearted psychics who let's just do this and let's have fun and it's wonderful. And then or and for psychics you're putting your heart out there, your soul out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for people who aren't prepared for it, they get crushed.
Yeah. Yeah, you
That
have
can be
to, because you're
life-changing
taking a
to
lot
get
of other
crushed.
people's energy into
And,
yourself.
I've
Yeah.
had people do that to me. I've had people really crush. Oh, and then you've done it all and you're, "Ah," crutch. And,
Yeah.
but as you get older, it's a good thing to go through because you go, what's the point? Is it about that person or is it about doing your skill?
Yeah.
And then, and if you're able to reach into that, you can keep going. And, so what? You're going to always meet bad people. You're always
Exactly.
going to meet good people.
Yeah.
Don't let the
You just
bad
have to have
people
a thick
win,
skin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just keep chugging along.
you got to get a thick skin.
Yeah.
Well,
I
now
have a
we're
friend that happened
got
to
about
that she,
Mhm.
go ahead. We have 10 minutes left.
Oh, go ahead.
And I was just saying, I have a friend who's a
Yeah, we have
psychic,
10
and
minutes left.
she was trying to set up shop, kind of like what you're talking about. This lady was trying to bring different ones into her store, and the other ones didn't like it because she knows what she was doing. Didn't like when she came in because people started going to her, and just like you said, they were being really catty towards her. Kind of pushed her out, and she was a dear friend of mine, so we talked about it, and she kind of like you said wanted to give up, and lo and behold, like 6 months later, maybe even a year later, that shop owner calls and said she was having no good luck with the people she had and asked her to come back. I'm like, it's all, the universe is going to bring it back. Don't give up. And like, it's going to bring out the bad people, but
Don't
they're
give
going to get
up
flushed out. Yeah.
and just be pure. Be
Yeah.
just one sided. Just go towards it. Don't let anyone, if they hurt you, let it hurt you. Brush it off.
Yeah. It'll
Keep
happen.
doing
And
what
like,
you do.
yeah.
It will happen. And the door will open. It will open for you if you give up. The universe does that, I think, so to see if you're going to give up,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do.
Yeah. They
And
do.
to me, you can't. I can't give up.
No.
And I've been through some really bad experiences with the mundane world of people
Yeah.
with it, but in the end, it's been good because guess what? It makes you better.
Yeah.
Skilled and everything. Because once you get over that, you get a little bit tougher,
Yeah.
and you don't let it be your. Don't become a tough person on it, but just be tough
Yeah.
and deal with things. Only deal with what you need to deal with. Don't deal with people you don't. Don't waste time and
Yeah.
don't let them hurt you. Don't don't feed that. Don't let them take away your power.
Yeah. Know your journey
Now,
and stick to it.
yes. So, is there anything you would like to tell people as we're going into the last part of this little show? Things about you, how they contact you, messages you would like to give?
I'm not big. I don't have like my own platform or anything like that. So I'm on Facebook, TikTok under my name that you see on there, Leila Oliverri. If you want to reach out to me, just, send me a message if you have questions or any kind of thing like that. Feel free to reach out to me. And I love meeting new people. But yeah, I don't have a big account anywhere else or anything like that. I'm just here in it for the fun.
Yes. Well, and uh, for those who's watching who haven't seen my big fat face before, I'm the fat psychic. You can always reach me on Facebook. Just message me. I don't do friend requests at the moment because I keep getting all these Russian women with big boobies. Um, or or you'll click on the person, it's got a fake picture, and then they go, "Hey,
Yeah.
sailor," and so I'm kind of like friend request. I'm kind of holding off at the moment because it just gets a little weird. But just reach me on Facebook and message me, and then if you have a question or you want to want to know something or just reach me there at Mark Elliott ELLIOTTFULTS. Now, is there anything you've got coming up?
I don't have anything coming up. Like I said, it's been kind of a rough, slow year for me and my friends. So we're just trying to tiptoe our way back into everything right
Okay.
now. We've all had a lot of rough things going on, but like I said, if you know you need some psychic support or anything, look up Intuitive Endeavors on the Facebook, or you can reach out and send me a message, and I can hook you up with that. But other than that, I just have some few
Oh, sure.
investigations with some friends coming up.
Oh, okay. Well, next year I'm planning on doing a thing at Waverly Hills.
Ooh, it's a badass. That's a badass
I'll
place.
talk to you about that at some point if you want. If you're interested in, it's going to be a badass place. But I'm going to go and do my spiritualist stuff. It's going to be not a great big group of people, but I'll let you know about it if you're interested. So,
Yeah,
so I'm telling it.
that
Nobody
will be
else
fun.
heard heard that. Uh, it would be fun. So we'll see. That's going to be next when that's happening, and you and Jamie, and if y'all are interested, we'll talk about
All right,
it.
that sounds good to me. You know, me
but
and Jamie are always up for an
I think we would
adventure.
have fun.
Yeah, I love Waverly Hills. That's an amazing place.
Oh yeah, I am. I've never been there, and I tell
You
people don't tell
haven't?
me anything about it before
Yeah,
I go. I just know
yeah,
it's a spot people really love. So,
yeah.
but I'm really want to go there.
I
And
think you're
so
going
I
to
thought,
enjoy it. I think you'll like it.
the last few things I've done. Oh yeah, I've already the spirit. I let the spirits pick it, and they went that one. And
Yep.
so I went okay. So I decided what I'm going to start doing is once a year, or at least, or maybe twice a year. I'm going to pick a place, get a little group of people. We can just go and do it the old school way,
Yes.
and along with electronics, but do a lot of the old stuff, and then just go for it, and then film it, live stream it, let people see how it's done in the old new
The
ways.
old-fashioned way.
The
That's the best. The small group is always best.
old, yes, the old, um, the old fat psychic way is a lot of fun because it just I love to brush off old um, table tipping, um, automatic writing, things like that,
Yeah.
remote viewings and stuff, and taking little GPS trackers and putting them in the seat of the psychic or on the table. Someone I know used to do that without telling the person that, and you would see the GPS go crazy.
Oh,
So when
that's
I do it
funny.
with the table tipping, we'll stick a GPS on it and go, wow.
Well, that sounds like it's going to
So
be fun.
I think it would be exciting.
Yeah.
So, and I had thought about doing it in a few months, but it's going to be too, but it's just too quick, but I think
Yeah. Yeah. You got to
I
build
need
it up.
time and get everything together. And so if you're interested in it, I'll let you know and I'll let Jamie know.
Okay. Yeah. That
And
sounds cool.
because I think Jamie, I know she likes to go everywhere like that.
Oh, yeah. She does. Yeah.
And I
She's
sent
been
her
there.
a
She's been there with me.
Oh, well, and tell her because I sent her I had sent her a wax head doll. Tell her that
Oh,
doll
cool.
is still saying, "Where's my body?"
Okay. I'll tell her. I'll tell her.
She got we got to put body. We got to
That's
put
funny.
her. The body
I love
it keeps
Jamie.
going. Where's my body? She hasn't gotten it yet, and it's so she likes antique dolls, haunted dolls. So
Yes.
that one keeps telling me, you gotta get a body for that.
Where's
Then
my
have to
body?
fix that. But but it's I've got to break out my antique haunted dolls here pretty soon for my cooking show, so that's going to be interesting.
That will be
So
fun.
they're probably pissed at me right now. They've been in a box for a while.
Ooh. You might want to take them
Yeah,
out
the
first for a
Fat
little
Sucking
bit.
cooking show is going to be a.
You got all sorts of stuff
it's
going on.
so it's going to be fun.
It sounds like
Yeah,
it.
it's got
Well,
a
I had a great
lot.
time
I've
with
got a lot
you.
of weird stuff going on, but it's going to be crazy. Like,
Yeah.
well, me too. I feel like we know each other. So,
Yes, same here. Same here.
so it's been very good. I think, and I'm glad I think it was fun. So we have a good
Yes.
rapport. A good rapport.
Yes. Thank you
So
so much for
now,
having me.
we are heading into 1 minute to Well, and thank you, Teal Gray, for Heather. Thank you, Kat and Carl. And like I said to Carl helped me last week telling me about a music program, and it has changed my life. And I'm going to thank him. And the little song that I did for Rylan,
Yes.
I think that happened so I could do that and produce
Yeah.
that little song. So, and I'm going to send out energy to Rylan. I hope she's okay, and I hope good health, everything for her.
Yes.
So, well, I think we come to an end. So,
All
thank
right.
you, Leila, and thank you, Carl, Kat, and I want to thank all of you out there for having us in your homes. Something good out of this. We did. We had fun,
Yes, we sure
and I
did.
want to tell you thank you and good night.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
night.
Thank you for having me.